for me, for the first thing that I'm putting on these stages as artistic director, for it to be a queer festival at a time when trans and queer people are under threat, and for me to say, let's have trans and queer people in the news in a positive way, that is a protest. I am protesting the fact that we don't celebrate the contributions that LGBTQ people have given to us enough.
You've spoken about queer and trans people kind of being vilified as a form of political distraction often.
It's easy, it's lowest hanging fruit. I mean, it's sort of, you know, people who are marginalised already and who are struggling in all ways already, it's too easy. Whilst over here, you know, billionaires are taking over the world and it up. Ooh.
We'll beep you.
The rolling hills of the Scottish Highlands, a place where nature and imaginations run wild. In a town with a population of some 3,000. What begins as a quiet day quickly becomes a loud launch.
I feel like such a tourist, so you're going to give me the guided tour, are you?
Yes, my ambition is to get flags on that thing.
Enter Alan Cumming, actor, presenter, activist, and now artistic director of the Pitlochry Festival Theatre, where we meet him not far from where he grew up.
Alan, after you.
Thank you.
Among the stars performing in 2026, Sir Ian McKellen, Graham Norton and Shirley Henderson. In January, he'll launch Out in the Hills, an LGBTQ+ festival.
I love that you once said you're as engaged with Beckett as you are with Bananarama. Will we see that cultural range here?
I really think I love the high and the low. Do you know what I mean? I do really, and I think most people do, but I think we're so encouraged to sort of choose a lane. The high and the low thing, and the Bananarama and the Beckett is about encouraging people to lose their inhibitions and to let go. And I do that here. I mean, I DJ'd a party here last year when we did our Writers' Festival.
Got Nicola Sturgeon on the decks?
I got her on the decks. I saw her last week and she goes, remember that time I was like, you didn't rate. She came up and put the headphones on and kind of...
From Broadway to blockbusters, X-Men, GoldenEye,
12 minutes.
and cult classics like Spice World, Cumming has spent decades living between New York and Scotland. The actor tells us he's terrified about what he sees as the rowing back of queer and trans rights in Trump's America.
Of course, they've come for trans people in America massively. And, you know, they're going along that acronym. You know, they're coming for us next. And hate crimes have gone up hugely. It's terrifying. It's really terrifying. I've got a lot of trans friends who, even in New York City, and it's, you know, in the last couple of days, Mum Danny winning, I think that's a huge sea change in terms of the feeling of safety and hope and the tide being turned. But even in New York City, people are, my friends are, you know, more wary about going on public transport, and it's not an abstract threat. It's absolutely real.
But it's here in the Highlands that Cumming and his co-host and dog, Lala, spend a lot of time in tartan.
Lala, our guests are arriving.
Filming Traitors US.
Has that been a joyful time for you and for her?
Yes, it's a joyful time for both of us, I have to say. And I love doing the Traitors. It's such a hoot. It's so exciting. Like every night before I can go to bed, the producer has to call me and tell me who's been murdered. So Lala and I are setting up, you know, with our curlers in, both of us with a little...
Would you be a good traitor, do you think?
Yes, I think. And also the way that people get passionate. I could never be a traitor. I'm like, yeah, you could, bitch, if I tapped you on the shoulder. And so I love the way that people get maddened. It's such a great psychological exercise. I call it Lord of the Flies with Botox.
I love that one of your first jobs was to write the horoscopes for the Dundee Evening Telegraph. You were the Mystic Meg of Scottish print media. What kind of tone did Alan Cumming have as a spiritual healer? What was your voice?
Well, I was 16 or 7. I think I was 16 when I first did this. 16. I always thought of my sort of reader as an old lady with cats.
Right.
So I always did old lady with cats centric sort of things. Like, you know, Mercury is in retrograde. Time to clean out your cupboards. Things like that. You know,
Right,
buy a
nice.
new blouse. Things like that.
Right, so you knew your audience, yeah.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's important. It's good. I know my audience here as well. I think, and also, you know, maybe some days I'd say maybe try a higher line on your hem. things like that, you
Nice,
know.
just slipping a bit.
Push them a little bit,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
don't scare them away.
From the Hollywood lights to the Highlands mist, Alan Cumming back to his roots, not to retreat, but reimagine as the Pied Piper of Pitlochry, calling the world to his stage.